शिवाय शिव जी सदा सहाय। ओम नमः शिवाय गुरु जी सदा सहाय।
जय गुरु जी, जय जय गुरु जी। गुरु जी के चरणों में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। संगत जी को प्यार भरा नमस्ते। गुरु जी रब है, ईश्वर है। शुक्राना गुरु जी, आपने ये मौका दिया आपकी महिमा करने को। गुरु जी मैनी हैप्पी रिटर्न्स, हैप्पी बर्थडे, हैप्पी बर्थडे। पूरी दुनिया में गुरु जी का जन्मदिन बहुत जोरों शोरों से मनाया जा रहा है, मनाया गया है। बड़े मंदिर ने तो इतना ब्यूटीफुल अरेंजमेंट किया, इतनी संगत आई। शुक्राना बड़े मंदिर के मैनेजमेंट का, शुक्राना गौरव भैया का। गौरव जी हैज टेकन सच ब्यूटीफुल केयर। जिस तरीके से उन्होंने इतना बढ़िया बर्थडे सेलिब्रेशन ऑर्गेनाइज की। जब भी गुरुजी की महिमा, गुरुजी के तो हर पल शुक्राना शुक्राना ही रहता है। बट whenever we come on the platform to speak about him, he is one gets a little cold feet in spite of speaking so much and thanking him so much, and yet one still gets a little nervous. And Guruji संगत सत्संग तो आप ही करवाते हैं। एंड गुरुजी कहते सी ना, जो सत्संग करता है, जो सत्संग सुनते हैं, सारे दा कल्याण हो जाता है। ये मौके के लिए शुक्राना गुरुजी। कोई गलती हो जाए तो माफ कर दीजिएगा गुरुजी। गुरुजी कहते सी साडी जर्नी विद हिम जन्मों की होती है। सो आई कांट से दैट यस आई मेट हिम physically in 2005. I cannot say it. I think it was March 4th or 5th. And yes, I was only just about 9 years when I had first gone to Amarnath. So I think my journey had started janmo se ho rakhi thi. And physically he met me in 2005. I can't say I met him because Guruji के दर पे, गुरुजी के मंदिर में तो एक पत्ता भी नहीं फटकता इनकी इजाजत के बिना। एंड जब गुरुजी चोले में थे तब कहते थे कि लाइना लग जाएंगी, देयर विल बी लाइन्स एंड लाइन्स ऑफ पीपल, देयर विल बी सो मच ऑफ संगत जो गुरुजी के दर पे आएगी, बड़े मंदिर में आएगी ब्लेसिंग्स के लिए। एंड कल हम सब ने देखा द रश दैट वाज देयर आफ्टर द पैंडेमिक, आफ्टर द कोविड। इतनी भीड़ थी जो इट वाज लिटरली बियॉन्ड कंट्रोल। एंड आप सोचो जो इतनी मेहनत से लोग जब वहां आ रहे हैं ते उन्हां दे कोल ते कोई एक बार ते आएगा ऑन द फेस ऑफ समबडी, बट अगर कोई बार बार आ रहे हैं और इतनी तादाद पे लोग आ रहे हैं तो आप सोचो कितनी शक्ति है। और गुरुजी कहते थे बड़े मंदिर में 11 ज्योतियों की शक्ति है, जो कोई पास से भी निकल जाए उसका भी कल्याण हो जाए। एंड yesterday we saw that. शुक्राना गुरुजी फॉर एन अमेजिंग दर्शन that you have given us. गुरुजी के और इतने the arrangements that were made I think must have been for lakhs of people. कल तो इतने लोग थे एंड शुक्र दैट सबको लंगर मिला। इतनी दूर दूर तक लंगर अरेंजमेंट्स करके रखी हुई थी गुरुजी ने। एंड जो अंदर जब इतनी भीड़ भी हो गई, लिटरली चौको ब्लॉक हो गया पूरा, फिर भी लोगों को बाहर से भी लंगर मिला, जल प्रसाद मिला, लंगर प्रसाद मिला, सब कुछ मिला। इतने ब्यूटीफुली सब मिला। शुक्राना गुरुजी की, हम सबका इतनी देख रेख करी आपने एंड सबको ब्लेसिंग्स दी। गुरुजी के लंगर में तो हेल्थ, वेल्थ, हैप्पीनेस सब कुछ इनके लंगर प्रसाद में है, सब कुछ। एंड गुरुजी के से जब हम कनेक्शन बनाते हैं, इट इज नॉट कोई इंज नहीं हैगा कि तुसी किसी दे थ्रू जाना है या कुछ नहीं। तुसी अपनी कनेक्शन गुरुजी दे स्वरूप विच गुरुजी आपे रहंदे ने। जद भी तुसी ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ स्वरूप ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਕਰੋ, ਉਹ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹ अपनी ऐ नहीं हैगा कि कोई आप प्यार से जब भी गुरुजी के पास बैठोगे, गुरुजी से बात करोगे, उनके स्वरूप से बात करोगे, तो वो गुरुजी से ही बात कर रहे हो आप। एंड जब when Guruji was in Chola, तद तक everything practical. ਹੁਣ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਜਿੱਦੀ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲੈ ਜਾਏ, it is ਹਰ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਸੋਚਣਾ कि कोई गुरुजी यूज्ड टू ब्लेस पहले, बिकॉज कल थोड़ा से जैसे मतलब गुरुजी यूज्ड टू ब्लेस द रिच एंड द पुअर अलाइक. मैं एक छोटा जा एक्सपीरियंस इस वास्ते शेयर करना चाहनी हां. कल इन्नी गाड़ियां भी सी, लोग पैदल भी आ रहे सी, सब इट वाज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. एंड पीछे first I'll just share a small, it's important to share this. मैनू पीछे डेंगू हो गया सी ते I was admitted in the hospital, and it was the I think second or third day when, and my blood counts had gone pretty bad, and it was the second or the third night जब गुरुजी ने मैनू दर्शन दिता. And जब when Guruji gives when you dream of Guruji, it is not महापुरुषों को रब ਨੂੰ अगर ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਆਏ ਜਾਂ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਆਏ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤੇ it is not a dream, ਉਹ ਸਾਖਸ਼ਾਤ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ came and he showed a beautiful, बहुत सुंदर दृश्य दिखाया उन्होंने. बड़ा मंदिर दिखाया उन्होंने. बड़े मंदिर में ऊपर इतना बड़ा जो हमारा शिवलिंग है, गुरु जी ने वो दिखाया. And I was in a pretty bad shape when I was admitted in the hospital. And शिवलिंग के आसपास उन्होंने दिखाया पूरा घी प्रसाद है. And then the शिवलिंग just opened from the top. And जिस तरह शिवजी जी के जटाओं से गंगा बहती है, वहीं से ऐसे ऊपर से शिवलिंग खुला and पूरा नदी बह रही थी. This was all in the dream that he showed. And he said, Ritu Aunty, Amrit pee le. And Sangat ji, tusi socho, a dream which mainu Guruji ne, my hands were joined together. जिस तरह जी असी नदी तो या नलके तो इंज हाथ जोड़ के जल पींदे हैं, ते मैं हाथ जोड़ के सारा कुछ ड्रीम विच हैगा, हाथ जोड़ के मैं इंज अमृत पी रही हां. And in that dream, जब मैं अमृत पी रही थी, ते गुरुजी कहंदे, रितु आंटी, I bless, and इन्नी संगत सी, ओ अमृत पी रही सी, and गुरुजी कहंदे, I bless the rich and the poor alike. And he told me this in the dream. He never sees कि somebody is moneyed or somebody is not moneyed. No, he blesses the rich and the poor alike. And he said this exactly in these words to me. He told me that. And he said that when I was drinking the amrit, he said, थोड़ा पी, पानी खा रहा है, नहीं तो पेट खराब हो जाएगा. And he gave me that amrit to drink, Sangat ji. And then he told me, as soon as amrit पी करके all the blessings गुरु जी के जल प्रसाद में, लंगर प्रसाद में, like I said, health, wealth, happiness, relationships, सब कुछ रखा है. Next day when the doctors came for the morning round, I think it was 9:30, they were a little taken aback, and they just said that they told me that my son was also there, and they said you can go back home now, it's all right, there's nothing to worry. So Guruji ने, आप सोचो संगत जी, अभी कोविड के टाइम में भी कितनी संगत को गुरुजी ने हम लोगों को फूलों की तरह रखा, कितना ब्लेस किया, कितना सबके साथ कनेक्शन बनाया, हर संगत के साथ in our respective houses, because मंदिर was closed. ये तो अब इतने 2 साल के से ऊपर हो गया कि इतनी ब्यूटीफुली कल गौरव जी ने बर्थडे ऑर्गेनाइज कराया गुरुजी का, एंड लिटरली सारा दिल्ली वहीं पर आ रखा था, एंड इतना सोना लग गया कल. तो गुरुजी मतलब इतना ध्यान रखते हैं अपनी संगत का. मैं तो आपको भी बता दी हूँ, लाइक हाउ व्हाट हैपेंड विद मी, एंड इवन ड्यूरिंग द कोविड टाइम्स सो मेनी पीपल सबके संगत. हम तो शुक्राना गुरुजी दैट यू हैव ब्लेस्ड अस ऑल, एंड इन्ना तुसीं साडा सारिਆਂ ਦਾ ध्यान रखा. इट इज अ मार्वल. जब मैं फर्स्ट टाइम गुरुजी ਨੂੰ मिली सी when my friend had taken me to Empire Estate, and there Guruji was sitting alti-palti on the sideboard, and I was just, and my friend, she took me there in the evening time. So that is, and जब बाहर हम गाड़ी से उतरे तो लॉट ऑफ खुशबू, इतनी खुशबू सी गुलाबो दी, मतलब इतनी गुलाबी गुलाब. So I was just thinking, being an army officer's daughter, army officer's wife, and an army officer's daughter-in-law, we know, when the VIPs come, wo sara, we spread the canteen ka fragrance, roses and all that. So I was just thinking कि इन लोग ने तो इतना गुलाब पूरा बाहर तक छिड़का हुआ है. And my friend, she took me in, and she said, she just, with her hand like that, she waved her hand and she said, meet my Guruji. So I just saw, सारी ता idea हैगा कि गुरुआं ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ white चोले च वेखीदा है ते चंदन दे टिक्का लाया ਹੁੰਦਾ है. And we never see, I had never seen a guru of this nature. And he was wearing drain pipes, and he had a floral shirt, half sleeve shirt, bush shirt he was wearing. And I just thought in my mind that he's so young, and I was just wondering, and Shami Asiyo, I knew that I couldn't get over the fact. But Sangat ji, just like she said this, Guruji looked up. ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਤੀਰੇ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ, ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਰ ਪਾਰ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ. I was so completely and totally taken aback, and I felt as if जिस तरह मेरा MRI भी हो गया, X-ray भी हो गया, that there is nothing that is being hidden by him. His after all, he is Mahadev. He has that the third eye, and he knew everything. And जिस तरह as my journey moved on, I realized कि मैं ते रब दी दरगाह से बहुत लेट, उस वेले ते एहसास ही नहीं होया सी मैनू, किसी ਨੂੰ भी नहीं हो सकता, because we had never seen Lord God in this, we had never seen or thought that God can be like this. And he is, but you see, Sangat ji, he is Rasak Vairagi Guru. His style was so different. He came as a human being to be with us, whom he has created, whom he has held hands with and taken us through the journey. And Sangat ji, and then he just, when he, after oh jeri uncomfortable, मैंने तो goose pimples होगी कि जिस तरह कि he knows every dirty secret of mine. मैंने तो इंज लगा जब उन्होंने मेरी तरफ देखा, तो उन्होंने इंज करके ना हाथ करके he just gave इशारा कि that I can go enter in. So we just went in and sat on the side, and ਬਹਿ ਗਏ थे उधर छोटे छोटे ग्लासा विच cha was given. So I thought एक कोई टाइम में चा पींदा, and it was about 7:45 बज रही सी. So I refused, and then my friend Olga, she said, this is prasad. Prasad, I understood immediately, तो मैं पी लेती. And thale Fauji style में little bit I left in the glass. Then she said, finish it. There, I finished it. Of course, much later I heard, when I heard, satsangs I heard, and I heard also, how Sharad Pawar unhone cha prasad puri nahi piti si. How, it is so important to have his prasad completely and totally. एक ग्राई खा लेनी चाहिए ते पी ले, ओ ते पी लेनी चाहिए, ओदे विच ही ते सब कुछ रखा है. That I learned as my journey moved along. So after that, Sangat ji, Guruji came there wearing beautiful robes. He was wearing such beautiful robes. I had never seen a man dressed, excepting when I was about 6 years of age. I had seen Gogia Pasha had come to my father's regiment, and Jad wearing, beautiful robes. So when I saw Guruji dressed up in those beautiful robes, तो मैं अपने मन में सिर्फ संगत जी सोचा that he is a world-class magician. तो पूरी दुनिया को ही हिला देंगे. ऐवी मेरे मन में सोच आया, because I had seen only one other man wearing such kind of robes, beautiful robes. And he wore those robes because he wanted us also to be beautiful and to enjoy life, because that's what life is meant for. ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ फिर ओम नमः शिवाय बजन लग गया. Now with ओम नमः शिवाय तो मैं immediate connection हो गया, because I was just about 8-9 years of age जब मैं first time अमरनाथ गई थी. And I had trekked, gone walking to Amarnath, and I had become, I started fasting, doing Shivji ji ke vrat from the age of 13. The Om Namah Shivaya de naal te I connected immediately, Sangat ji. And ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ महाराज आके अपनी कुर्सी पे बैठे. And then जब खत्म हुआ, he I was my friend, she introduced me to Olga, she introduced me to Guruji, and she said, Guruji, eh meri saheli hegi. And Guruji looked at me and said, na ki hai? मैं क्या रितु. कहते रितु कौन? मैं क्या रितु. कहते छेती बोल. मैं क्या रितु सेठ, daughter of Colonel Roshanlal, wife of Colonel Ashok Seth. And कहते बच्चे. मैं क्या एक लड़का है. किथे है? मैं क्या दुबई. कहते मुंडे दा ब्याह कर ते ऐश कर. This he told me there. And then he just waved his hand and pointed out, sent me udaro red cape paake. Raghurai ji was sitting there. And he sent me to have langar prasad there. Te kade is tarah beh ke te langar prasad kita hi nahi si. So I was a little taken aback, flummoxed kiye assi kha kis tarah rahe ne, idhar thalle beh ke चार log ek thali ch kha rahe ne. Sangat ji, that was his way of telling us, I think he used to, that was his amazing divine way of blessing us and giving us everything that we desired. Te udhar beh ke wo unhone Raghurai ji ne, he gave roti prasad, laddu prasad, and matlab rab di, tusi socho rab de kol beh ke rab sanu langar khwa rahe si. Nothing could be more celestial and more divine than that. But little did we realize that, a lot of us never realized कि ऐसी रब दे चरनाई च बैठे ने. And after that, Langar Prasad ke baad, I just told my friend, I said, let's go. Because my husband was flying in Srinagar and he had called when we were leaving and said that, he also never, matlab assi Guruan de est vele te jai nahi dani hai. Swere we are used to going to Gurus early in the morning. So when he had called at about 6:45, he asked me, what's happening? I said, I'm going with Olga to her Guruji. So he said, koi time hai Guruan de jaan da, come back home fast. So that tension had already started. And I told my friend, let's go back home. She says, when you go to the chief's house, don't you go and thank him? That became another thing. So we went out, washed our hands, came back and stood in line to thank Guruji. Now everybody was doing Dandvat Pranam to Guruji. And when the person in front of me did the same, and I just thought in my mind, Sangat ji, and Guruji ke charan, itne sundar charan, unke charan aise, unke chole se bahar the, aur Sangat unke charanon ko pranam karke, chhu karke, शुक्राना करके जा रही थी. Now that was my first meeting with him, and I never I was so taken aback कि किथे गईयां. And then when it was my turn, I just thought, I said, he's so young, I'm not going to touch his feet. Sangat ji, we are such fools, we never realize where we are. And matlab it is because मैं तो कदे सोचा भी नहीं कि मैं रब दे सामने खलोती हूं. Rab knows everything. Guruji knew as soon as when he had scanned me. I'll say scanned because actually it was a scan. When he looked at me, it was as if everything he has seen. So he knew what is going on in my mind. And Sangat ji, he just put his feet back under his robe. I was relieved also. I just standing, I bowed my head, joined my hands and said, thank you so much, and left from there. So Sangat ji, after my friend, she dropped me back. Then that night, Guruji came in my dream and asked me, he said, रितु आंटी, आपके बेटे का नाम अखिल राज सेठ है? I told him, I said, Ji haan. And this is a conversation, Sangatji, that is happening after my first meeting with him. And he then gave a very special blessing for my son. And that is very personal. Te wo main share nahi karangi. And then that he said, that was all in the dream, Sangatji. Te tusi socho, matlab, assi te jinna shukar kariye aur na kaate. And it was completely and totally, and when I had been sitting over there, I had just thought in my mind that because my son had been wanting something, so I just thought that कि मेरे बेटे का ये काम हो जाए. If you got some power, ये हो जाना चाहिए. You know how we are ifs and buts की पेन तो कुछ पता ही नहीं कि मैं आई भी किथे हाँ. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਉਹ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਹੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ. ਸੇ ਵਿਦਿਨ ਨਾਈਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਓਨਲੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਐਂਡ 12:15 ਤੱਕ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਰਾਤੀ ਗੁਰੂਜੀ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਬੇਟੇ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਅਖਿਲ ਰਾਜ ਸੇਠ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਵਾਸ ਟੋਟਲੀ ਟੇਕਨ ਅਬੈਕ. ਐਂਡ ਦੇਅਰ after that, of course, we had gone to Dubai, my husband and I, we spent a couple of, and it was at the back of my mind that I need to go and thank him. So after about 2 months or so, I wanted to go back to him. I called up my friend again and she said, somebody's coming from Chennai, to tenu appe jana pauga. Then I went back on my own and I picked up my Maruti and drove down. And the same, then it was fall. And then this time when I went, I was standing in line and I wanted to touch his feet and thank him. His feet were under his robe. And Sangatji, he took out his feet and with such beautiful feet he had. Beautiful feet. And I just touched his feet with the tip of my fingers. I touched them with the tip of my fingers, fearing that his feet might get dirty, if I touch them any the more. Blessed were we that we were able to touch his feet like that. From next day onwards, that night when this happened, I didn't realize, but as to why the fragrance, or it didn't dawn on me, but I came back and after having freshened up for the night, I washed my hands with soap and all. And you know how we Fauji's are Synthol and Synthol is a soap that we are using or Lyryl. And suddenly, after I washed my hands and when I was going to sleep, the fragrance from my hands was full of roses. I didn't understand why this had happened. And next day onwards, मेरे घर इन्नी गुलाब दी खुशबू, इन्नी प्यारी महक आ रखी पूरी. मैंने समझ ही नहीं आया कि ऐ क्यों हो रहा है. ते my mother had come. She said मैं कॉफी पीने आ रही हूँ. मैं क्या आ जाओ. So ਜਦੋਂ ਆਏ and she said ਕਿ ਇੰਨਾ ਬੜਾ ਤੂੰ ਉਹ ਰੂਮ ਬੜਾ ਫਰੈਸ਼ਨਰ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਪੂਰੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੰਮੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਇਆ. she said ਐਵੇਂ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਹੈ. ਇੰਨੇ such strong small fragrance ਹੈ, roses ਦੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. I kept quiet. ਕੀ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਮੈਂ. and everyone coming into my house would say ਇੰਨੀ roses ਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ਬੂ and I would just carry it. Not understand कि खुद को भी हाथ धो. I went, washed my hands again, नाते तोते लिरिल नाल ते सिंथॉल नाल, और फिर गुलाब दी खुशबू, इतनी beautiful खुशबू. It is something no perfume on earth can capture that fragrance. And after about 5 days I ring up my friend and because मम्मी दूजी बार आ गई कॉफी पीने वास्ते, तो फिर आकर के कहंदी बड़ी खुशबू तू डाल रखी है. She was also a Fauji's wife. And मैं क्या नहीं जी मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं किया. And then she was little irritated and I also then got little irritated. So rang up my friend and I said मेरे तो घर में इतनी खुशबू आ रही है ये since I have gone to your Guruji. Then she told me, she said, this is my Guru's way of blessing you. So Sangatji, this was so divine. It was so beautiful that I don't have no words. And honvi jad Guruji ne chola chhad deta hai. If one is in, Scotland, or if one is in New York, or one is in any part of the world, and one is बहुत जोर की हम गुरुजी को बोलते हैं कि अपनी presence please let me, feel your presence. Let me feel that you are here, right here with me. ਇੰਨੀ strong ਖੁਸ਼ਬੂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੀ, ਤੇ it is the same ਖੁਸ਼ਬੂ which ਜਬ ਉਹ ਚੋਲੇ ਸੀ then we used to get. It's beautiful and it is his way of ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜਾ ਮੰਦਿਰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦ ਜਾਈਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਮਾਧੀ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕੋ, that fragrance is very different. It is something which like I said, no perfume can capture. So संगत जी, in his बड़े मंदिर में गुरु जी के पास आकर के इतनी एक अलग, and it is not just me, all of us, we have our everything in our life has changed so beautifully कि इन्ना changes आ गए ने, इन्ना सब कुछ, and मतलब and we don't need to ask anyone to pray for us. अच्छा, पहले ना एक छोटी जी गल दसनी है ते I used to पहले मेरे घर एक पंडित आंदा सी, रेगुलरली आंदा सी, ते when Guruji took me into his charan, he then told me one day, and Guruji na de naal jad tusi, like I said, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ you don't need any intermediary, and to each one एक छोटा सा मैं अभी there is so much actually to tell, because every पल, हर एक पल गुरुजी का ही सत्संग है, गुरुजी का ही blessing है हर सांस में, every breath. So it was like very recently, and we, each one of us has a different journey with him. We are never to think, and like no size fits all जिन्हों कहंदे कायदा है ना. मैं इस तरह ना एक छोटे शेयर करने, मैं किसी का सत्संग सुन रही थी ते मैं ओदे सुनिया that गुरुजी ने ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ जंगली हनी ਅੱਖਾਂ 'ਚ ਪਾ ਲਓ, ਤੇ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪੇੜ 'ਚ ਇੰਨੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਛੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ my children and self, we kind of and the staff ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਪੱਟੇ ਲਪੇਟ ਲੁਪਟ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚਲੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੰਗਲੀ ਹਨੀ ਕੱਢ ਲਈਏ, ਤੇ ਜੰਗਲੀ we took out the honey, we got lovely fresh honey, and honey ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨੀ ਪਾ ਲਿੱਤੀ. ਹਨੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਾਈ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਕੋਈ ਹਫਤੇ 3 I think about 4 or 5 days मैं पाई होनी है, and फिर अखा तो लेती. But after about a week or so, my eyes, they started troubling me, and I got sty in my eye, and then I had to put medicine in my eyes for about 2 weeks, and this is just finished only now recently, so no size fits all. हर एक दे साढ़े एक दा अलग अलग, चाहे मतलब असी तो मतलब we are not in lakhs, we are in crores now जो गुरुजी दे followers हैगे ਤੇ डिवोटीज हैगे ते ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨੇ, and गुरुजी ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਣਾ है, मांगना कुछ नहीं है, कभी भी नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं मांगना. So I'll just when I had just lost my husband, my mother, my father and my father-in-law, सारे चले गए थे. मैं I was I used to I would pray a lot, obviously कौन नहीं करेगा, and because we are all looking for a support system, and then Guruji gave me darshan. जो गुरुजी का बड़े मंदिर में जो राइट साइड में गुरुजी ने ब्लू चोला पाया है, उस स्वरूप विच गुरुजी came and gave me darshan, and he said, Ritu aunty, what do you want? ए गुरुजी दे exact word से he is asking me this in my dream. संगत जी, गुरुजी कोलो कदे भी कुछ मंगीदा नहीं. Say I couldn't, and imagine I was at that stage in my life when I had nothing, and I had lost everything. I had nothing, and my son was also not settled. Kuch bhi nahi thi. And he came and gave me darshan and asked me, what do you want, Ritu aunty? Ritu aunty, no, his exact words were, Ritu aunty, what, not, he didn't even say Ritu aunty. He said, what do you want? Exactly like this. He said, what do you want? I just looked at him, and I told him, I mean, I didn't telepathically I spoke to him, or telepathically I spoke to him. I couldn't utter. I was spellbound. मतलब रब आके दर्शन दे ते थोड़ी कुछ, मतलब आदमी कुछ बोल ही नहीं सकता, समझ ही नहीं आती कि हो की रहा है। तो मैं तो ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ तरफ इंज ਵੇਖਿਆ कि मतलब कि ਮੈਨੂੰ तो ये भी नहीं पता कि what I should ask for। मैं बोलूं कि मुझे पैसे चाहिए, नहीं, हाँ मुझे चाहिए थे, पैसे भी चाहिए थे मुझे, you know, I needed a proper place to stay, I needed so much। तो मैं कुछ बोल ही नहीं पाई ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। And I just looked at him and I just told him telepathically that I told him, I said, Guruji, I don't know what is good for me, you know what is best for me। And Sangaji, this had happened about 10 years back, more than 10 years back. And when I looked at him and I said this, he just looked at me and then he went away. This was all in the dream. And Sangaji, from then, but yes, मैं उनको मानती थी, मांगा नहीं, माना मैंने। तो उन्होंने मतलब everything, he has left no void in my life। उन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं, मेरे को तुसी अज अगर पूछोगे की चाहिए तेनू, तो मतलब रब मिल गया। एंड जद रब नाल होंदा है, देन सारी जटो जहा की खुशियां नाल हो जांदियां ने, साथ चलदियां ने, रब नाल चलदा है जद। एंड that was around that same time, and you know, we are very blessed, we are truly blessed कि ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ नजर साडे ते पड़ी है। and it's such a big grace, Sangaji। So you know, then once he gave me again around that time, my husband had been posted in Leh Ladakh, and he gave me darshan, and there's a huge mountain in the dream he showed। If Sangaji, those of you who've been in Leh Ladakh, we were there posted for about 2.5 years। My husband was commanding 666 Aeropeace Squadron, and I was working in Kendriya Vidyalaya। My son was in class 10। So the mountains there are very bare, and in the dream, Guruji showed that the face of the mountain, the head of the mountain, face of the mountain was that of Guruji। अनंत रूप था वो, उसमें उन्होंने अपना अनंत रूप का दर्शन दिया था मुझे। सो अनंत रूप में ही शोड चेहरा मेरे रब का था। उनके हाथ वर वेरी लॉन्ग, वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग, एंड द बॉडी, रेस्ट ऑफ हिज बॉडी वाज नेवर एंडिंग। आसमान से धरती में समाये हुए थे, मतलब जहां देखती तो वही थे। एंड his arms were like this, and he had nestled me, and he is the mountain behind me, he is the you know, he is my Lord God Almighty, he is everything for me। मेरे लिए जो कुछ है सब गुरुजी गुरुजी गुरुजी। And in that dream he showed, there is a conversation that is happening, and he has nestled me like this in his arms, he's nestled me like this, and he's telling me, he says, Ritu Aunty, this is the water you have to cross। I suppose when he showed me that, and the water that he meant was that these are the difficulties, these are the tasks, ये मेरे को अपने कर्म काटने हैं। This is what he meant, I understood, as because this was quite a few years back, and this is what मैं जिस तरह साडी जर्नी ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ जिस तरह साडी जर्नी चलती गई, तो मैं समझी कि ਉਹ मतलब बिकॉज जिस तरह गुरु जी कहते थे, सोचो that you know anything that he showed you had to, I mean because हमारे को तो समझ ही नहीं ना आती कि क्या दिखाया उन्होंने। So he's telling me, Ritu Aunty, this is the water you have to cross, and I'm looking up at him। उनका अनंत रूप है, उन्होंने अनंत रूप ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਜ ਨੈਸਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, एंड मैं उन्होंने दे चेहरे ते तरफ देख रही हूँ, उत्ते अपना इंज फेस ऊपर करके देख रही हूँ उन्होंने, ते मैं कह रही हूँ, गुरुजी आई एम सो स्मॉल, आई विल ड्राउन। ते मैनू कहंदे, गुरुजी but I am with you throughout your life। This is a conversation, Sangat ji, that is happening between my Guru Malik and me। and मतलब इन्ना ता ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆਦਮੀ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੈ कि मतलब सोचने वास्ते कुछ रहा ही नहीं. And he's telling me, Ritu aunty, I'm with you throughout your life. ਇੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਇੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਗੇ. ਇੰਨੀ what a big thing he said to me, that he is with me throughout my life. And I'm looking up at him and telling him, Guruji, I'm so small, I'll drown. Oh, he's looking down at me like this, because उनका अनंत रूप था. There was his from आसमान के तक तो उनका चेहरा था, वहां से एंड वहां एंड नेसल करके, एंड ही शोइंग मी, रितु आंटी, दिस इज द वाटर यू हैव टू क्रॉस. दैट वाज अ वेरी वीक पार्ट ऑफ माय लाइफ, वेरी टफ पार्ट ऑफ माय लाइफ. एंड सोचो रब ने आके उस वेले आके मैनू ही इज गिविंग मी अनंत रूप दा दर्शन दे के मैनू कह रहे ने, दिस इज द वाटर यू हैव टू क्रॉस. एंड आई एम टेलिंग हिम, लुकिंग अप एट हिम, एंड साडी गल हो रही है, एंड आई एम टेलिंग हिम that Guruji, but I'm so small, I'll drown. He's looking down at me, Sangatji, and he's saying, Ritu aunty, no, he didn't say Ritu aunty, he said, but I'm with you throughout your life. ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਡਰਦੀ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ, ਤੇ there is, and ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਹਾਂ ਸਾਥ ਹੈ ਨਾ. शुक्राना गुरुजी, thank you Guruji, thank you Guruji, shukar 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 Datya. So life with Guruji is so beautiful, and I never asked him then, and now also I know there is no need to ask, because if he is walking with me. Why should I say if he is walking with me? te jithe janiya, and every pal, it is so amazing. Acha, I'll share a very small thing. Once, मतलब the way he has in my journey of life, the way he has ensured, taken care in every whatever way. And दरबार इन्ना सोना जेड़ा स्क्रीन ते आ रखा है गुरु जी दा, ते in 2000 and I think it was 11, I started having a lot of pain behind my knees, and I'm basically an athlete, so I couldn't walk on the treadmill also. I was wondering ki ho gaya mainu. And when I went to Bada Mandir, every Thursday I used to be going there, Monday, Thursdays, every day only I would be going. And ਉੱਥੇ ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਸਿਜਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਸਿਜਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ, ਤੇ I just looked at him, and ਸਿਜਦਾ करते वक्त भी ਮੈਨੂੰ ना बड़ी, and I would get a lot of pain behind my knees. I couldn't bow nicely, and I just looked at him, and I was wondering, I said, Guruji, ये क्यों हो गया वा, मैं सीधा भी नहीं कर पा रही हूँ. That night Sangat ji, he gave me dream. उन्होंने मैनू विजिट किया, and उन्होंने दिखाया, एक ते मैं सी जेड़ी सो रही सी, एक फिर उन्होंने दिखाया कि गुरुजी वाज इंज पहाड़ी जी हैगी, पहाड़ी तो ते पिछों गुरुजी कम्स आउट, and then he shows one Ritu lying down, one Ritu standing, and one Ritu sleeping. And then he's telling me, and he's showing me, he didn't speak anything, he gave me a very big smile. His smile is so beautiful. And he's showing me the infection that was there behind my knees, and whatever was there in the body, it was full of infection. And Sangaji, this was on the 8th, I think, of November, if I remember correctly. And I wasn't able to, from that day itself, हर दिन मैनू या तो मंदिर बुला लेंदे सी सेवा वास्ते या लंगर वास्ते. एवरी डे मैनू कदे कोई ना कोई बुला लेंदा सी, सत्संग वास्ते, लंगर वास्ते, सेवा मिल जानी हर रोज. And pura November, December, I seem to be doing nothing excepting being with Guruji. किसे सत्संग दोपहर वेले भी, शाम वेले भी, रात वेले भी, it was a continuous flow of satsang. I would get lot of langar, I would get मतलब every meal of mine was only langar prasad. संगत जी, गुरुजी के लंगर प्रसाद में सब कुछ रखा है. Your proteins, good carbs, fats, calcium, magnesium, vitamins, minerals, whatever the body needs, it is there in his langar prasad. So during that time, November, December, January, by January end, my complete physical body had started coming back to its, I started getting better and better and better. I didn't go to any doctor, Sangaji. Guruji is my doctor. Guruji was my doctor. Guruji is my doctor. And he is only taking care. And the way he would, every langar prasad, and by March, I was back, able to go and go back to my gymming. My speed had increased where it had come down to 2 and 3 on the treadmill. I was already back at about 9 and 10. And I could do my inclines, I could do my exercise again. By March end, I was absolutely normal. Shukrana Guruji, Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji. Thank you, Guruji, for the health, wealth, happiness, for the sangat, for everything that you bestow upon us. And on each one of us, you take such good care of us, on each one of us. And kaise Guruji, it's amazing. This is very recently there is a book reading club, and wherein I was very keen that mera bade se man karta tha, and that I should also get an opportunity to read a book. And I get this call from Shilpi Aunty, and she said, you read the book The Alchemist, and it Guruji he karate hai. And that book The Alchemist that he made me read, it was every single day, it was as if he himself, because what he said na ki hamesha he used to say, be positive, har cheez mein positive raho. Then he had showed, he would talk about the flow of energy, and it was so beautiful that once ek chota sa I want to share. I think we still have a little time, so I just want to share. And in this book, it was beautifully, recently only we finished reading this book, The Alchemist. वो भी गुरुजी दी मेहर है, संगत दे विच ही पढ़ते सी अस्सी ते it was as if गुरुजी ही की ही teachings थी, but with a little bit of fiction. ते बहुत मतलब इतना सोना लर्निंग भी सी, टाइम पास भी सी, ते इंटरैक्शन भी सी, सारा कुछ ते फ्लो ऑफ एनर्जी दा एक छोटा जिहा मैं सत्संग सुनानी है. पॉजिटिविटी कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर अस टू इफ वी आर पॉजिटिव, it is easier. He's healing us, so we only be positive. And like कदे भी अपने अंदर किसी दे we each one of us has her his own connection with him. कदे भी ऐ ना सोचो कि ओदे ओ इस तरह है या ए इस तरह है. कदे भी किसी दी निंदा नहीं करनी, किसी दी गुरुजी नेवर, उन्होंने तो कदे भी he never did any प्रवचन और any such thing. No, उनके जो गुरुजी के मंदिर में जो शब्द बजते हैं, उनके शब्द इतने सुंदर है, उसी में सबको आंसर मिलता है. आप बैठ करके जब आप अपने just close your eyes and concentrate on the shabad, we get all the answers to everything. And it was so beautifully. I would just want to share a small satsang about flow of energy. So my friend Deepika Mahajan, she told me, she said, Ritu Aunty, please come. There is a new sangat Benu, and we are doing Guruji Satsang in our house. I want you to come help with the darbar, etc. And Kada Prasad. मैं क्या ठीक है. They she had I went there for Guruji Satsang, and it was beautiful. There was lot of new sangat there, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੜਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜੇ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਉਹ ਵੰਡ ਦਿਓ. ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੜਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਹੱਥ ਤੋਂ ਦੇਈਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸੋ I was just going to each one and giving kada prasad, and मतलब कड़ा प्रसाद डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रही थी. उसके बाद मैं आके अपना लंगर किया ते मैं came back to our office. We have a small office by the name of Roots Realty. उत्थे मैं जब वापस गई, I told my son, I said, I'm feeling very sleepy. He said, why are you so sleepy? कुछ काम ते किता नहीं तुसी, सारा दिन ते सिर्फ सत्संग करके ते तुसी आए हो. मतलब उन्होंने देखो की किया, कहंदा तुसी ते सिर्फ सत्संग करके आए हो. But I couldn't keep my eyes open. ते कहंदा तुसी you go home and have a power nap. I came home, Sangaji, and reached home at about 4:15 in the evening, and I just hit the sack, and 2 मिनट विच मेरी अख लग गई, गाढ़ी नींद. and Guruji gave me beautiful dream, and he labeled that dream as flow of energy. संगत जी गुरुजी ने एक बहुत सोहनी चीज दिखाई सी ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, and in that dream he showed कि जद मैं, because I had asked him, sir गुरुजी मैनू की हो गया, and why am I so tired, and he showed that मैं ਜਦੋਂ प्रसाद इंज वंट रही सी साਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ there was an exchange of energy. So that's how then in that, when he labeled it as flow of energy, he called that dream. He said, Ritu aunty, this is because I asked him, my question was, why am I so tired? He said, flow of energy. ਤੇ ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਵੰਡ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਹਰੇਕ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੀ એનર્ਜੀ ਘਟ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀ. that is why like ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜਾ ਮੰਦਿਰ ਜਾਈਦਾ ਹੈ, ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣੀਦਾ ਹੈ, when we come out we feel so energized. That is because he has blessed us with that extra that's why he said na 11 jyotiyon ki shakti hai, and we have to keep ourselves very positive. जिन्ना ਅਸੀਂ अपनी flow of energy एकदम positive रखिए, that much more we are going to be healthier, because बिल्कुल भी negative ना अंदर नहीं होना चाहिए, एकदम positive. Then that will keep us with Guruji's meher, Guruji's grace. ਅਸੀਂ healthy rahange te and nothing like health is so beautiful. And आपे Guruji te आपे हर एक चीज वेखदे ने. ਤੇ I want to share one more very small satsang. ਤੇ ਗੁਰਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵਾਰ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੁਣੀਦਾ ਹੈ, he comes ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ, ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ, because he is residing in each one of us, and he makes his presence felt so beautifully. गुरुजी तो कहीं भी नहीं गए, गुरुजी तो यही है. और अब तो now after he has left his body, he is all over the world, everywhere. And it's amazing the sangat लाइना ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ ਨੇ, बहुत ही लंबी लाइना. So it is एक छोटा जिहा मैं होर हले हैगा थोड़ा जिहा टाइम. And once we were having every Shalini Khera aunty used to have Guruji Sangat in her house on a regular basis. So she used to call us there. थोड़े जिहा ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ. And one day when I came out, Sangat ji, I saw, जिस तरह ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੇਟ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਈ, and ਮੇਰਾ ਇੱਕ ਕੰਮ ਐਸੇ ਅਟਕਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ I was just when we were sitting in the satsang, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਸੀ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ. ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ satsang ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਰਮੀ headquarter ਕੋਲੋਂ I got a call from there that I need to come and collect my file etc. ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ I was very happy, and मैं बाहर आई तो I saw one, you can call him Sant, you can call him Mahapurush, but I have to describe that the Sant that I saw. He was about I had never seen. I've been to Amarnath also so many times with my husband also, because he used to fly helicopters there. So I've gone in choppers also to the cave, Guruji's cave there, and I saw this man outside, but ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਵੀ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੰਤ. He was about I think 6'2", very tall, very well built man. He had ਪੂਰੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਸਾਂਪ ਲਪੇਟੇ ਹੋਏ ਥੇ. He had ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸ਼ਿਵਜੀ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ, he was exactly like that. And ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਟਾਏ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੀ. He was wearing he had trishul in his hand, he had mandal in his hand. मतलब मैं तो एकदम, and he just walked across the road and came to me. I was a little थोड़ा सा मैं मतलब थोड़ा सा हिल गई, थोड़ा सा डर गई, थोड़ा सा I was taken aback, because इस तरह का दृश्य तो मैं कदे वेख्या ही नहीं सी. And he comes across to me and he says he just came very close to me, and he's telling me he gave me a beautiful blessing, extraordinary blessing he gave me. That was for me. And I just looked at him. Sangat ji, I never realized that was, मतलब in retrospection, जब मैं बाद ਵਿੱਚ जिस तरह मेरा time बीतता गया, मैं that as the journey went along, I realized that was, and this realization dawned that same night. I'll tell you why. Because मैं की किता उन्होंने मेरे को बड़ी ब्यूटीफुल जी ब्लेसिंग दी थी, something extraordinary, and he said जा मैं तेरी किस्मत बदल देती. He told me that, okay, and so that man told me this. I just, it never dawned, you know, so many of these so many ऐसे हम we meet and वो ऐसे बोलते हैं तो हमारे इतने समझ में नहीं आते ये, we don't realize, you know, what is who's who. And I just took out something from my purse and I gave him, and I just took out only 100 rupees and handed it over to that man. And I mean, I'm being frank, Rab di dargah te kuch lukaida nahi, and te matlab like whatever, whether it is right or wrong, truth is truth. Guruji te kehndे ne te sach bolo, and main ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ. That night Guruji gave me darshan, and you know what he told me? He said, मैं matlab because he had I had given him that whatever little money I gave to that man, I gave it out of lalach. See how Guruji watches over us. It's a marvel. मतलब जितना शुक्र करो, and yes, the way he does things, the way he takes care of us. मतलब मैं तो I cannot, मेरी तो कोई ना औकात है ना कुछ, and मतलब फूलों की तरह रखते हैं, कहाँ से कहाँ ले जाते हैं. हम तो जितना शुक्र करे, थैंक यू करे, it is not sufficient, संगत जी. And yes, Guruji कहते सी always be helpful to as many people as you can, and कदे किसी दा बुरा ना चाहो, कदे होर ते कुछ. मतलब गुरुजी ने सानू इन्ने प्यार नाल, yes, it is not nice, किसी की निंदा नहीं करनी चाहिए, that we know, but गुरुजी really कभी, ये तो हम उनके शब्द कीर्तन से ही सुन लेते हैं and समझ लेते हैं. So it is ऐसे ना, मतलब गुरुजी जैसे बोलते हैं कि गुरुजी तो यही है. So at every instance he makes his presence felt. So that all that complete work of mine, whatever had been in the balance, in the pending, he ensured it was done. And I realized later that गुरुजी ने, वो गुरुजी का रूप था जो उन्होंने उस महापुरुष के रूप में उन्होंने मुझे दर्शन दिए थे. बिकॉज कभी मैंने ऐसा तो संत तो मैंने कभी ऐसा संत देखा ही नहीं मैंने. ही वॉज सो टॉल इन, मतलब, and he was literally like a replica of Lord Shiva, dressed like Lord Shiva, and in a very different style, not like the normal जो आप संत देखते हैं. And he had walked right across from outside Chalni Khera's house, पूरा across से ऐसे चल के आए थे मेरे पास. शुक्र गुरुजी, thank you Guruji for blessing me. तो ऐसे ही ना, it is we never know कि किस रूप में किस वक्त वो हमें he makes his presence felt. Yes, at every instance, जितना हम उनको दिल से हर वक्त एहसास करें, उतना we are the ones who will gain. We are the ones who are totally taken care of. And मेरे तो you know, like in my house, everything is, you know, once he gave me such beautiful darshan, and again about 10-11 years back, and he told me in my drawing room near the dining table, he gave me darshan, and he told me, he said, Ritu Aunty, the soldiers in this house are very strong, and as life unfolded, everything was sorted out, and everything is sorted out. And from my मेरे कार्य, even my daughter-in-law is also totally, completely chosen by him. And I was looking for an army services background girl, and he gave me this girl from near Punjab. And he had told me, in the dream he told me, when he showed me a huge shivling, and he said, Ritu Aunty, ladki Punjab ki hai. And later on I got to know, I didn't even, she's from an agricultural background, but जिस तरह गुरुजी कहते हैं घर सुख वसिया, ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕੁਛ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ. जब रब नाल है ते सब कुछ सानू, we don't need to think and we enjoy the present. And yes, he always wants to see us smiling and happy. And if since he is a Rasak Vairagi Guru, he never told us that we are not to, we are not to. He wants us to dress well. By himself dressing well, that was what he was teaching us, to dress well, eat well, be good, be pure on the, be beautiful on the outside and pure on the inside. To जिन्ना सी अपने आप ਨੂੰ pure रखिए उन्ना, that is best for us. I thank you so much. Thank you. I thank Bada Mandir for giving me this opportunity to Guruji da shukrana karan da, and I really hope किसी ना किसी ਨੂੰ कोई भी मैसेज मिल के कोई भी सारे because we always feel कि जैसा ज़्यादा सी सत्संग सुनीदा है, we try to also sort out our own questions, issues, and even through the kirtans and through the satsangs, we all get messages for ourselves. And I hope that Guruji forgive me if I have made any mistakes, and I hope the satsang also benefits at least someone, at least. Thank you so much, Guruji. Thank you, Sangaji. Jai Guruji.